Hello, sports fans. Jim Coyle with Indiana Sports Beat Radio. Thank you for stopping by our YouTube channel. Make sure to hit the subscribe and notifications toggle so you never miss a thing. All of our content up here every day. Looking forward to it. Thank you, and we'll see you on the radio. Welcome back to the Hard Truth Distilling Company studios on this Thursday. Joined now by Sir Bob Kravitz from bobkravitz.com. How are you, sir?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Just trying to stay warm. I don't like these cold days, man.
No, I need a vacation somewhere warm. Got any ideas?
Yeah. Well, one of the commenters on the Andy Moore Honda hotline suggested that December become just a holiday month for all Americans, and I have to say I agree with that. If we could all move to the southern part of the country for like 2 months, that would be good. If I could just have January and February, that would be great.
Yeah, I miss my golf.
I just can't stand it being cold. It's this cold. I mean, it's that's not fun. Yeah. Not fun. But I'll tell you what's not cold is college football talk around here for multiple reasons. Obviously, the clash coming up between Notre Dame and Indiana continues to be one of the hottest trending stories. Ticket prices are sky high. What is your take on why that is? Why are tickets so expensive? Is it because they haven't played in so long? Is it because Indiana fans are jacked and they're not getting any tickets, basically?
None. I have a good friend who's an alum, a member of the Alumni Association, and he received an email, I guess in the last couple of days, saying that Indiana got a very small allotment of tickets.
3,500.
What was it?
3,500.
3,500. And virtually all of them went to players' families and people inside, the program. So they were telling people go on the secondary market. Well, the secondary market, the last I saw, the cheapest ticket was $1,486.
I think they're starting to drop a little bit, but I looked like the day before that, and it was staggering because I looked at all 4 sites. You could easily get a ticket for $200 at all 3 of the other sites, at Ohio State hosting Tennessee, at Penn State, and at who was the other missing one?
I know.
Anyway, it was Texas. It was in Texas. $200. You could go to all 3 of those games for less than you could go see Indiana and Notre Dame. And a lot of people are complaining, and I acknowledge the ticket situation. It's stupid. They're not treating it like a bowl game, which the very next round would be a bowl game.
They're treating it like a typical Notre Dame home game.
Well, that's how they all, for everyone. That's how it's set up.
Right.
And that's got to change. And if they go to, when they extend the playoffs, expand rather, I don't know that it changes because they're not going to rent out all these other stadiums. Indiana, Notre Dame at Lucas Oil Stadium, that would be huge. Now, the home team has the ability to make that change, but nobody is going to give up a home game, even though they don't make the money on the ticket sales. They only get concessions. No, that goes to the college football playoff.
College football playoff, right?
But
so it really does them no good to give Indiana such a small allotment. I mean, I can't see the reason behind it, but it's I'll tell you what, I wouldn't pay $500. I mean, it's a once in a lifetime thing, Indiana, Notre Dame. It just doesn't happen very often, but
I was there the last time it did.
What's that?
I was there the last time it did.
Was that 1990 what?
1991.
Yeah.
Where were you then? Were you in Denver? Where were you?
I was in Denver. Yes.
Boom! Nailed it.
Yeah, I moved around a lot, so that's pretty impressive. But yeah, I am looking.
Forcing fans like Indiana fans or whomever, in this case it's the Indiana fans, but forcing them to the secondary ticket market, that's all you're doing. You're forcing Indiana fans to pay so much more for tickets, which is crazy because I saw a Notre Dame fan point out that, this game's on a Friday. Their fans don't live in South Bend.
Right. They
are when you think of Indiana, you've got people coming from Fort Wayne and wherever they come down for those games. Well, South Bend, Notre Dame has a much bigger arc around.
Oh, no doubt.
So, A, they're coming from further away. B, this game's on a Friday night. There's no places hardly to stay. South Bend is not a metropolitan city.
I got a room out in Elkhart, which is 26 minutes away from South Bend Stadium. I checked it out. So I am not going to write from my couch, Indiana. It's going to be South Bend, Indiana for I got credentials.
When I was there the last time, Bob, the one thing that I remember was they had the best hot dogs that I had ever had. I'm sure that has changed. But it was very cool because I was just starting out in my media career. I was down at WOKY in Louisville at the CBS station, and myself and Rick Van Hoos, who is now the news anchor for LKY, but he was the number 2 sports guy then. But we went up to cover that game. Trent Green was the quarterback.
Yeah.
This was the old stadium. This was before. Now you see it, and it doesn't look the same because they built up the end and the sides with these buildings in essence, and added a section around the upper bowl, which increased the seating, blocking out the touchdown Jesus. So Greg Rakestraw pointed out that Jesus can still see in. You just can't see Jesus. But I suggested that they should have just left a little cutout like Arrowhead Stadium has.
Right.
Love that. But again, Greg Rakestraw was on top of it in one of my favorite lines of the year. Jim Jesus can't turn those empty seats into money. I'm going to give him credit all year long for that, man. Yeah. That was a good one. But it is going to be this is a great matchup.
It's a great matchup.
It has got so many things. The in-state, the little brother syndrome, because they basically, I think, have not scheduled or played Indiana because of their track history.
Right. It doesn't do Notre Dame any good to play Indiana in a normal year. It really doesn't. I mean, it's a non-impactful victory.
Absolutely. And this is an opportunity. Indiana has the number 2 defense in the country.
Right. Great.
Notre Dame has one of the best running offenses in the country.
That's the game right there.
It is just going to be huge. Indiana is a better passing team without question, but can they protect Curtis Rourke? He's not the runner that Notre Dame has at quarterback. So it's going to be it's just going to be a very, very interesting game. We've got, another week to talk about it, but it's not enough. I'm glad we have 2 weeks. I'm glad we have 2 weeks, honestly.
I'm just blown away that they're in the CFP. I mean, not Notre Dame. We knew Notre Dame would be there somehow, some way, by hook or by crook, even though they lost to Northern Illinois. Which I just like to mention. But yeah, this is going to be it's going to be like Brian here just mentioned. It's going to be Rudy against Hoosiers. They ought to make David.
Yeah, I said that last week.
Oh, did you? Okay, yeah. David Anspaugh
was the guy behind, and David Anspaugh. Both of those movies. How ironic is that?
Yeah,
it'd be cool if
they ought to be
Rudy and oh gosh, what was the character's name?
Jimmy Chitwood.
Jimmy Chitwood at doing the coin toss.
Yes, they should be honorary captains.
I agree. I I should reach out to Angelo again and say, hey, you should get those guys to become honorary, and maybe he should play the referee in this role.
Oh yeah, that'd be perfect.
Are we casting for the movie of this?
Yeah, maybe.
Trent Green should be there. That would be cool.
Now, 1991 is that the year that IU beat them?
No, they have not won in South Bend since 98, and that is 1898. Yeah, I believe that was the first time they ever played, maybe.
Okay. Well, it's a good year for the Hoosiers.
And here's more irony, which some of you already know, but they call it the house that Rock built, Newt Rockne.
Mm-hmm.
The uber famous, one of the most famous college coaches period in the history of sports, but who took Notre Dame to the heights that they began achieving, who was turned down for an assistant football coaching position at Indiana.
I did not know that.
You seriously did not?
I did not know that.
Before he was the Newt Rockne that he wrote a letter to and was turned down to be an assistant football coach at Indiana.
Well, that explains everything, doesn't it?
There you go. Now you know the rest of the story. Good day.
Very cool.
Yeah, isn't that wild?
I had no earthly clue.
That's just like Bob Knight was this close to being Wisconsin's coach.
Wisconsin, yeah.
And instead he went to Indiana and beat Wisconsin for like 3 decades.
Yes.
That was kind of funny. Just again, more craziness. All kinds of things going on. Indiana has a quarterback by the name of Alberto Mendoza on the roster from Miami. He's in the middle of his freshman year. His brother, Fernando Mendoza, played for Cal last season, threw for over 3,000 yards, Bob. He's in the portal. He's a runner. He's a dual threat quarterback. Okay. 3,000 yards, 16 passing touchdowns, 6 interceptions. I forget how many more rushing touchdowns. I don't know about him coming to a place where he would be competing against his brother. Not that his brother is next in line per se, but there's enough difference between the two time-wise that it would work out. Not sure. That would be a great hit for Indiana. I was reading this morning in ESPN, and Tom Luganville was going through the quarterbacks that are in the portal and matching them up with what he thinks is their best fits for schools. Mm-hmm. And the first one on the list was Fernando Mendoza to Indiana. And I'm like, well, there you go. He is a Kurt Cignetti type of quarterback.
Is he?
He was overlooked coming out of high school, 2 or 3 star, I think maybe a 2-star, I don't know. 3,000 yards last year.
Wow.
At Cal. So but he has a couple of years left.
Yeah. That'd be nice.
It would be nice. A perfect fit.
And, so many doors now are open to IU and Kurt Cignetti. So many. I'm sorry. Rockne didn't get the job in Indiana because he used to pal around with a Gipper who was a drunk, according to 5 Lefts.
That's probably just a joke.
I'm sure it is. Okay. What the hell was? I forgot what I was saying. I'm sorry.
What were you talking about? So
you weren't listening.
Distracted. Okay. Well, I was, but I get distracted as well when I'm going through my
old age, man. I'm just saying they're. I mean, you look at the amount of money they've raised for the NIL.
They're in the top 20 in NIL, Bob. They're tied with Penn State.
What's that?
They're tied with like Penn State.
Yeah. I mean, the money is coming. And for years and years and years, we've heard, well, we've got no money. We can't do this. I mean, the money's there. They're making plenty of money.
What's
the line on this one? 7.5 or something?
It was 7.5 when it opened. I haven't looked at it.
Yeah, I like IU to cover. I mean, I don't know if they'll win. I think they got a more than a puncher's chance. I think it's a 40-60 kind of game. But shoot, I'll take the 7.5 points in a heartbeat.
Well, and here's the thing. Make no bones about it. Kurt Cignetti is and may always be pissed about the Ohio State game. It was a little embarrassing for him, I think, because, of all the talk, but that's okay. The one thing that I've said numerous times, I'm pretty surprised on how ill prepared for the noise they were.
I know that really struck me, Jim. I mean, like you knew what the deal was going in there. It's not like some sort of a surprise. Now,
it's one of the loudest places in the country.
One of the loudest places. Now, Notre Dame is not nearly as loud.
No,
the way the place is constructed, the noise doesn't filter on down and out, to the field. But yeah, it's how they could not be prepared for that is beyond me. But he was very honest about it.
Absolutely, but also you can't ask a question about Ohio State without either getting a short or quick or terse response.
Oh, really?
I just can tell it doesn't even want to talk about it, really.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
Here's your chance.
Yeah. Well, this is a huge chance for so many different opportunities. I know that we've got to jump out of here. Make sure you go to bobkravitz.com. He's got a piece up right now about where have the Pacers gone?
What the
Where's
hell?
Tyrese Haliburton gone? What the hell has happened to the Pacers? Man. A team that had so much. There's probably not a team that had more higher expectations, not to win a championship or something, but to build off of last season. And
absolutely,
they've fallen on their butt.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you lose your 2 backup big men, you lose your 3 best wing defenders. That hurts. But what really hurts is Tyrese Haliburton is playing like garbage. That's the real problem. When you go from first in the league in scoring to 23rd, who's most responsible for the way that offense runs? It's Tyrese Haliburton, and he has not been good, especially on the road. He's been inconsistent even at home. So unless he gets his crap together, they're going to continue to struggle.
Absolutely. We've got to take a break. You're welcome to stick around for another segment, brother. We can talk about that piece if you like, but I've got to take a break.
Sure.
We'll be back with more Indiana Sports Beat Radio right after these beautiful messages. Andy Moore Honda is Bloomington's #1 Honda dealer for a reason. Buy a new Honda and get a 3-month break from car payments. That's right, no payments for 90 days. That includes the all-new, all-electric Honda Prologue, and you get it for just 0.9% financing, or the 2024 Honda Ridgeline Black Edition, or the Honda Accord LX, both for just 1.9% financing. Get more to your door from AndyMooreHonda.com, Bloomington's #1 Honda dealer and your best place for new and used vehicles. Hoosier Hanks East, located on College Ball Road in front of Kroger in Bloomington, is everything you could want. Great food like their custom pizzas, wings, wraps, unbeatable daily drink specials, live music on Fridays, and Hoosier Hanks East is home to Inside Indiana Football and Inside Indiana Basketball coaches shows hosted by Don Fisher. Be on the lookout for Hoosier Hanks ticket giveaways to Indiana and Colts games on social media. Stop by and meet Hoosier Hank at Hoosier Hanks East on College Ball Road in Bloomington. Hungry for something a little different? Well, head to the Rusty Gator Fork and Ale in Bedford, where oceanic flavors meet southern charm with a Cajun flair, like their loaded voodoo fries, gator bites, or jambalaya, and so much more. The Rusty Gator also has live music each Friday and Saturday night with some of the best local and regional artists around. Visit the Rusty Gator Fork and Ale in Bedford and get your Cajun on. If you're looking for a home in the Indianapolis area, you need Cheryl Sizemore from RE/MAX Advanced Realty. Cheryl Sizemore has over 2 decades of experience, and that could be the difference in getting the home you want in today's tough housing market. Reach out to Cheryl Sizemore from Remax Realty at Cheryl@IndyHomePros.com or 317-701-0838. 317-701-0838. Let Cheryl Sizemore help you find the home you want today. Located on 325 acres in beautiful Brown County, Indiana, Hard Truth Distilling Company is the biggest and the best craft distillery around. While Hard Truth is already known for producing internationally awarded whiskeys and spirits like Hard Truth's sour mash bourbons, sweet mash, and hard road ryes, as well as their cinnamon vodka and the always popular toasted coconut rum. Hard Truth Distillery offers so much more. With a full-service restaurant, ATV, and distillery tours, as well as live music, you can spend an entire day at Hard Truth Distillery while making your entire family or group happy. And that's the Hard Truth. Hard Truth products are available across Indiana, as well as many other states. So no matter where you shop, if they don't carry your favorite Hard Truth product, tell them you want the truth, the Hard Truth. Hard Truth Distilling Company encourages you to enjoy all of their products responsibly and to never drink and drive. Welcome back, Indiana Sports Beat Radio, here at the Hard Truth Distilling Company studios on this frigid Thursday. Appreciate you being with us. Bob Kravitz from bobkravitz.com. That's Sir Bob Kravitz to you, my friend.
I've been knighted.
Boom, boom. Absolutely. Hey, the Big Ten football season slate for 2025 has been released. Several things of note. Oregon will go to Penn State for a rematch of the Big Ten championship game. Indiana gets Ohio State and Michigan off of the schedule. They bring Oregon and Penn State onto the schedule, in addition to Wisconsin and Iowa. They have to play at Oregon, at Penn State, and at Iowa. There'll be a different road.
It'll be a different story next year. Did you see?
I'm not saying that they're not going to have a success, but
no,
it's going to be substantially different. Playing in Oregon is going to be tough. I've seen it, what it's like to play in Iowa. It's not that it's tough; it's just beating Iowa. That's not a hard place to play because of the stadium. And although they have great fans, they love their football. Yeah, and that's all that they have is that there are no pro sports out there, but for whatever reason, it's Iowa. The only reason it's hard to win there is because they're usually a pretty damn good team.
I don't know if you saw this, Jim, but they did they had the Bison horns and stuff on their social media. Are they bringing the Bison back? What's the deal?
Well, me and you were on the same page today, Bob, because when I've been seeing it more and more, and when I saw that, I'm like, well, just let him come on through. Are you going to bring him out?
Yeah.
Watch. Daggone it. The wrestling coach. Well, I'm drawing a daggone blank on him right now. A great guy. You talk about, there's a coach of the year for you. He has turned that program around. Okay. He has done a tremendous job from the region, former national champion for Indiana. But anyway, I happened to see a wrestling match. I guess it was on BTN or something one night. And he's wearing, it looked like a sweatshirt with the Bison IU guy on it.
Right.
And I'm when's is that official uniform there? What's going on?
It seems like they're just trying to float a trial
without doing it.
What's that?
It's like they're doing it without doing it.
Right. Yeah. It's like they're floating a trial balloon, see how people feel about it.
They love it. People have been wanting it. They've been wanting it anyway. The thing is, first of all, people don't know what the hell a Hoosier is. Now you're going to bring out a Bison that half the people are going to call a Buffalo, which is wrong. But then they're going to bring out a Bison and say, well, we don't even know what the hell a Hoosier is, but what the hell does a Bison have to do with it?
Well, are there a lot of Bison in Indiana? I mean, apparently there used to be in Colorado.
Well, there used to be, I think, apparently back in the day.
Used to be Bison
state seal.
Oh yeah, that's true.
It's on the state seal, man. This used to be the Wild West, Bob.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I hadn't thought of that. Let's go back to the Bison. I remember when they used to run Ralphie the Buffalo, at Colorado games, and it was extraordinary. All the players would get the hell out of the way because they're afraid of getting run over by a wild buffalo.
Why would you not? Probably weighs 2,500 pounds.
Yeah, bring back the Bison. That's my next column.
You know what? It should be there. Brian says there are bison all over Indiana, north of Indianapolis on the plains. And I know of a gigantic bison farm down in southern Indiana.
Yeah.
I guess, they breed it for the meat or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I love a bison burger.
Those are awesome. I had one at Montana Mike's or Montana Ted's or
That's in Atlanta.
Yeah, that's what's his face?
Ted Turner.
This is Ted Turner. Yeah.
I ate there when Indiana played Auburn last year.
Okay. Yeah. There you go.
And, it makes sense. That's why the Native Americans were here, Brian says, and it makes total sense.
Yeah, I get
the name Indiana.
I didn't realize that bison were so prevalent here in Indiana.
Boy, you're learning a lot today, Bob.
I am learning a lot today. I feel inspired. I feel edified.
That just brightens. That makes my whole week.
Makes your day. Okay.
Makes the whole week. Bill Belichick to North Carolina.
How about that? I think he's going to be successful. He's got Mike Lombardi.
I do too.
He's got Mike Lombardi as his GM. Mike Lombardi is an old friend of mine. I knew him back in Cleveland when he was running the Cleveland Browns.
Well, you should get him on the show with us one day.
Yeah. Oh, he'd be great. No, I look, the way college is run right now, it's really like the pro game.
It's really better. Like it's easier. I think it's better. You can access players so much easier.
Right. So I think he's going to surround himself with good people, including, I guess, his son, Steve, out in Washington.
That's what I said earlier, Bob.
This is one of the great minds in football. He needs to have a job.
And he is doing it, first of all, because he can, not because he needs to. But he is going to bring his football acumen, which far exceeds most humans,
right? And
surround himself with people, like you said. He's got a GM. He'll let that guy go out and say, the players and the portal guy, get a portal guy and a head of recruiting guy.
Right.
And, all he has to do is seal the deal, but he's just going to run the team. He's going to manage the team. You get me the guys, and here's what I need. Here's what I want. Boom. I think it is where both college basketball and football are heading, but they have been for, a couple of years now. People were quickly catching on. I mean, we've seen teams not just this year, before this year, adding GMs. And I think it started with basketball, to be honest with you. Why the hell you need a GM in basketball? I don't know, because you only have 13 stinking players, not 125 to deal with, or whatever the deal is. But I think he will be as well. Bill, I think his son will probably be set up to take over as head coach,
right?
As well.
There's no doubt. Well, and the great thing is that doesn't his girlfriend go to North Carolina? Isn't she a freshman there or something?
High school? Oh, college. I didn't know she was in high school or college.
Wow. It's so funny.
I'm jealous. I'm just jealous. Trust me.
I had this conversation with my wife. She's like, "Oh, that's disgusting."
Why is it disgusting?
Well, you have to talk to my wife, okay?
A woman, yes.
I'm sitting there going like this. Yes. That's I have greater appreciation for Bill Belichick now than ever before, even if he cheated.
Well, I have to, but I do have to ask, I mean, how much can you have in common with someone who's 24?
Nothing.
But I guess they can introduce him to Instagram, which he calls InstaFace,
right?
And a lot of the other things that needs to happen in the world today.
Yeah, I don't begrudge him in the least. Whatever makes you happy, whatever makes you fulfilled, and I think good for him.
Absolutely. I know you're familiar with him. Any interaction with Tim Brando?
Once. We talked to him briefly once at a game. Seems like an extraordinarily nice guy, and
he's one of the nicest
doing the
guys
game,
in the business,
right?
I think.
He's doing the IU game?
No, he has done many IU games though for Fox. And I had met him and whatnot, so I just thought he would be someone great to have on.
Oh, absolutely.
Because he may, from a national perspective, he's probably watched as many, or by calling them IU games over the last 2 years, as anybody from a national perspective. He's done a ton of IU games.
He's done a bunch of games. That's why I was wondering.
Before that, he had a ton of experience either with ESPN or CBS covering the SEC. He's just done. He's a vet. He's one of the voices.
He's had a good long career, man.
40 plus years.
Good for him.
Absolutely. The Colts were off last week. They're back in your old stomping grounds of Denver this week. Bob,
yes, sure.
Denver. Bob, they're in Denver.
Yeah,
I can run that one into the ground. I stole that from whoever put that on the comments earlier, so I'm not going to pretend I was quick thinking enough to run that one out. But yeah, it's the Colts back at it. Colts they're trying. The Pacers, their ship has sailed. I don't know that you can get that one turned around this season.
Oh, I think the Pacers can turn it around. Really? I do. Look, they are closing in on the point of no return, but in the Eastern Conference, you got so many bad teams that are 7th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th. I think they find a way in. They're obviously screwed with the two big guys out for the whole season, so they're going to have to make a move there, whether that's Walker Kessler or somebody like that. I think they're going to have to make a move. But, when you lose your three best wing defenders, Shepard and Nemhard Neesmith, on a team that doesn't play any defense, that's a problem. And so I think once all those guys come back, I think they'll start getting themselves together. Look, the bottom line is Haliburton's got to find himself. Haliburton has just not been the same type of player he was the first half of last year. And, this really started last year after the injury to his hamstring. He just has not been right ever since.
Nope. And hopefully they get it back together, because it has been surprising, disappointing, and bewildering.
And the Colts, by the way, this is their playoffs. The playoffs start on Sunday. They've got to beat Denver, or this season is another wash.
Absolutely. I agree wholeheartedly. Getting back to Notre Dame-Indiana, what are your thoughts? We'll have you on again before then, but right now, what are your thoughts on this game? Indiana is going into on the road. So first of all, that makes it a 3-point difficulty in and of itself. Mm-hmm. They're doing their best to block out the noise, which they've pretty well done all year long, except for inside of Ohio State Stadium. But they won't really have that issue this time. They've been working on that, as a matter of fact, as well. So with that aside, Notre Dame has one of the best running games in the country. And I mentioned earlier, Indiana has one of the best run defenses in the country. But Indiana's offense is predicated on the pass. Mm-hmm. And while Notre Dame's defense is pretty good as well, has Indiana learned to make adjustments and protect Curtis Rourke and get him into different situations, as opposed to dropping 5 steps and standing there hoping to be able to make those plays every time? Because, man, sometimes that just doesn't work. And we've seen that the last couple of games, not Purdue game, of course, but they're going to have to give him the time to do his business, because Indiana is a pass-oriented team.
Well, they're going to need nice games from Tyson Lawton and Justice Ellison. I think they've got to be able to run the ball. Just just to keep the dogs off of the quarterback. But I think the key to the game is going to be on the other side of the ledger with Notre Dame's ability to run and IU's ability to stop the run. I think that's going to be the key matchup the entire game.
I agree. Indiana's from Kurt Cignetti down, they're pissed about that Ohio State game. I don't think that's going to leave, and it shouldn't leave. It should always bother you. When I was competing in rodeo, I can remember certain ones that we didn't win for the dumbest of reasons. And it's still to this day, it's been 11, 12 years since some of that stuff happened. I think about it. Something will make me think about it, and it just drives me nuts all over again.
I'm still. It doesn't. In fact, it's funny. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day. I'm still pissed off about a game that I lost at IU against Ohio University in hockey, where I gave up a goal with about 30 seconds left, and they beat us in overtime in front of a sellout crowd. We went out there with about 9-10 guys, and we ran them ragged. It was amazing, but it still pisses me off.
It will never leave.
We're children. We're children. Let's face it.
I could have told you that before.
Yeah.
I don't know. Tana said he could see me in the Gene Wilder's role in that rodeo movie. That was with Richard Pryor. Yeah, that was pretty funny. What's up next for you, brother?
Well, I got Purdue and Butler are both playing on Saturday at Gamebridge, so I'll do that, and then I'll do the Broncos Colts game on Sunday, and I'll
There's a great statement of the day.
And
men grow older, they don't grow up.
No, we do not. No,
I'm perfect.
I'm 64, and mentally, I'm still 22.
Appreciate you, my brother.
All right, buddy.
We'll talk to you again before the big doings, but we'll see you up in South Bend as well.
Sounds good, man. We'll see you there.
Absolutely. The great Bob Kravitz, Sir Bob Kravitz from bobkravitz.com. Make sure you are going there. You should be a subscriber, covering everything from the Hoosiers, the Boilers, Notre Dame, Colts, Pacers, even the Fever as well. Whatever you like. You can get it all from Bob. We're back with more from the Hard Truth Distilling Company studios right after these messages. Hello, sports fans. Jim Coyle with Indiana Sports Beat Radio. Thank you for stopping by our YouTube channel. Make sure to hit the subscribe and notifications toggle so you never miss a thing. All of our content up here every day. Looking forward to it. Thank you, and we'll see you on the radio.